Welcome back. Please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel.
Hello, and welcome to our business update. Today, we are looking at a major shift in the technology sector. Western Digital, a leader in data storage, is changing its entire business model to focus on artificial intelligence.
That is correct, Alex. The demand for AI data centers is growing at a record pace. To meet this demand, Western Digital confirmed that they have already sold their entire hard drive capacity for the year 2026.
That is an incredible figure. It shows how much storage these large AI systems actually need. To support this new direction, the company is making some significant financial changes. They are selling their stake in SanDisk, which focuses on flash memory for regular consumers.
Precisely. By moving away from the consumer market, they can focus on enterprise storage. This means they are building the physical infrastructure that allows large-scale AI models to function. This strategy also helps the company reduce its debt and simplify its finances.
It seems like a very calculated move. Analysts say this reflects a broader trend. Traditional hardware companies are now forced to specialize in AI to remain relevant in today's market.
I agree. The company is even securing long-term supply contracts through 2028. This gives them a very stable foundation for the next few years. Investors are showing cautious optimism as Western Digital aims to become a key pillar of the global AI ecosystem.
It is a critical test for the company. As data centers continue to expand under the current administration, Western Digital's ability to pivot will determine its long-term success.
It is certainly a transformation worth watching. Thank you for the analysis, Alex.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you all for listening.
Good morning. Today we are looking at an ambitious new roadmap from SpaceX. The company's CEO, Elon Musk, recently shared a vision that could transform how we reach space.
That is right, Alex. SpaceX is now aiming for a launch frequency that would dwarf any current operation. Within 3 years, they want the Starship rocket to launch as often as once every hour.
One launch every hour is a significant goal. Currently, most space agencies only launch a few times a month. Why is SpaceX pushing for such a fast rhythm?
The main goal is to build a massive infrastructure in space. By launching more often, they can deploy more satellites and transport the materials needed for long-term missions. This frequency is the key to making space travel a regular part of our economy.
To achieve this, the technology must be perfect. SpaceX is already very active. They have 7 Falcon 9 missions scheduled before the end of February. But Starship is a different kind of vehicle.
Exactly. Starship is designed to be fully and rapidly reusable. Unlike older rockets, it is built to land, be quickly refurbished, and fly again. This shuttle-like service is what makes the hourly goal possible.
It sounds impressive, but there are many hurdles. Industry experts have pointed out challenges with logistics, noise concerns, and managing busy airspace. There are also many government regulations to consider.
Those are valid concerns. However, SpaceX has a history of meeting difficult deadlines. Right now, they are focusing on perfecting the landing procedures for the massive Super Heavy booster.
If they succeed, the cost of reaching orbit will drop significantly. This could eventually lead to large-scale construction in space and even travel to other planets.
It is a bold vision. For now, we will watch the upcoming test closely to see if this hourly service becomes a reality.
Thank you for joining us for this update. We will see you next time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our program. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today, we are discussing a major development in the Canadian retail sector. Loblaw Companies Limited has announced a massive $2.4 billion investment plan for 2026.
That is a significant figure. The goal of this investment is to expand their business and modernize their supply chain across the country. Jamie, what are the specific details of this plan?
Well, Loblaw plans to open 70 new store locations. This includes 34 Shoppers Drug Mart pharmacies and 31 hard discount grocery stores like No Frills and Maxi.
Beyond new stores, I understand they are also focusing on their existing locations.
That's correct. They will renovate 191 stores to improve energy efficiency and the overall customer experience. Most importantly for the economy, This expansion is expected to create about 9,700 new jobs in retail and construction.
This seems like a direct response to the current economic climate. Many families are struggling with rising costs.
Exactly. Loblaw executives stated that this investment focuses on the discount segment. They see that consumers are looking for more value and affordable options for food and healthcare right now.
They are also investing heavily in technology, aren't they? I read about a new distribution center in Ontario.
Yes, they are building a 1.2 million square foot automated facility. This will help them manage inventory more efficiently using advanced logistics. They are also upgrading their digital platforms to make online shopping easier.
It is a bold strategy. By expanding their reach and lowering costs through technology, Loblaw aims to maintain its position as Canada's leading retailer.
It certainly is a major step for the company and the national labor market.
Thank you for that analysis, Jamie. And thank you for listening. We will see you next time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. Today, we are looking at some positive developments in the U.S. housing market.
That's right, Alex. After a long period of uncertainty, mortgage rates are finally holding steady this February. This is a welcome change for many Americans.
Let's look at the specific numbers. Jamie, what are the current rates for home buyers?
According to recent data, the average rate for a standard 30-year fixed mortgage is now 5.87%. If you prefer a 15-year loan, the rate is even lower, averaging 5.37%.
Those figures are quite a relief. It wasn't long ago that we saw rates as high as 7 or 8%. What is driving this downward trend?
Much of it is due to the Federal Reserve's recent interest rate cuts. Because inflation is cooling and unemployment remains low, the market feels more confident. Analysts are calling this sub-6% environment the new normal.
It sounds like a more sustainable situation for the economy. How should consumers react to this new normal?
Well, it creates a strategic opportunity. For people who bought homes when rates were at their peak, now might be a good time to refinance. By switching to a new loan with a lower interest rate, homeowners can save a significant amount of money.
And for those looking to buy their first home this spring?
The outlook is cautiously optimistic. While rates aren't as low as they were during the pandemic, they are stable. Experts suggest shopping around and comparing different lenders, as even a small difference in a rate can lead to big savings over time.
Thank you, Jamie. It is good to see some stability returning to the market.
My pleasure, Alex. It's certainly a better time for buyers to plan for the future.
Good morning. I'm Alex. Today we are reporting on a serious security incident that occurred at Mar-a-Lago, President Trump's private residence in Florida.
Hello, Alex. Early Sunday morning, Secret Service agents shot and killed an intruder who broke through the security perimeter of the estate. The suspect has been identified as a 21-year-old man from North Carolina.
It sounds like a very dangerous situation. What do we know about how the incident started?
Well, the suspect reportedly drove his vehicle through a security gate. Once he was inside the grounds, he was confronted by a police deputy and 2 Secret Service agents. He was carrying a shotgun and a container of gasoline.
That is very concerning. Did the officers try to stop him before using force?
Yes, they did. The officers ordered the man to drop his weapons. However, instead of following their orders, he allegedly raised his shotgun into a shooting position. At that point, the officers opened fire. The suspect was declared dead at the scene.
This brings up a lot of questions about safety. Was President Trump at the residence when this happened?
Fortunately, no. President Trump and the First Lady were at the White House in Washington, D.C. at the time. They were never in any immediate danger.
That is a relief. Still, federal authorities are now investigating how the suspect managed to get past the initial security controls. They also want to know his motive and if he was working alone.
Exactly. Security at Mar-a-Lago has been increased recently, but this breach highlights the ongoing risks at the president's properties.
The president has been briefed on the situation. We expect him to address national security and support for law enforcement in his next public appearance.
We will keep you updated as the investigation continues. Thank you for joining us for this report.
Thank you, Jamie. Goodbye, everyone. Good evening. The 2026 Winter Olympics in Milano Cortina have officially come to an end, and it was a historic finish for Team USA.
It certainly was, Alex. The highlight of the final day was the men's ice hockey final. In a very tense game against Canada, the U.S. team won 2-1 in overtime.
This is a significant moment. It is the first time the American men's team has won the gold medal since the famous Miracle on Ice in 1980. For many fans, this victory represents years of hard work to improve the national program.
Exactly. Beyond the hockey rink, the United States performed very well overall. The team finished with one of its highest medal counts in recent history, thanks to strong performances in figure skating and snowboarding. We also saw several young athletes become the new faces of winter sports.
The organizers in Italy also received praise. They successfully balanced modern, sustainable buildings with the traditional beauty of the Alps. The games were not only about sports, but also about protecting the environment.
During the closing ceremony, the Olympic flame was extinguished, and the flag was handed over to the next host city. It was a moment that emphasized global friendship and cultural exchange.
While the games have ended, the impact will continue. The new facilities in Milano Cortina are expected to help local tourism for many years.
For the athletes, a new 4-year journey begins today. But for Team USA, this year will always be remembered for that historic gold on the ice.
A proud conclusion to a great winter season. Thank you for joining us for this update.
Goodbye, everyone.
Good morning. Today, we are looking at a serious environmental situation in the Caribbean and Mexico. A record-breaking amount of seaweed is currently moving toward popular vacation spots, including Cancun and Tulum.
That is correct, Alex. Satellite images show a massive belt of brown algae, known as sargassum, drifting through the ocean. This year's surge is much larger than usual, and it is arriving just in time for the busy 2026 spring travel season.
This is not just a problem for swimmers. When this seaweed washes onto the shore, it begins to rot. This releases a very strong, unpleasant smell. It can also harm fragile coral reefs nearby.
Exactly. It is a major threat to the tourism industry, which is worth billions of dollars. Local governments are already taking action. They have deployed specialized skimming boats to collect the seaweed before it reaches the sand. Hundreds of volunteers are also working hard to keep the beaches clean.
It sounds like a very difficult task. Jamie, what is causing this record growth?
Scientists say there are two main reasons: rising ocean temperatures and extra nutrients flowing from large rivers into the sea. These factors allow the seaweed to grow and reproduce very quickly.
For small business owners who rely on tourism, this is a big concern. Many are worried that visitors will cancel their trips. Are there any long-term plans to handle this?
Yes, some researchers are looking for ways to turn the collected seaweed into useful products like biofuel or even building bricks. However, for now, manual removal remains the priority.
It is a reminder of how our changing environment affects local economies. If you are planning a trip to the region, officials recommend checking the sargassum forecast before you book.
That is a very helpful tip. Thank you for joining us for this update.
Good morning. Today we are discussing a potential breakthrough in medical science. Researchers at Stanford University have developed a new universal vaccine delivered through a simple nasal spray.
Good morning, Alex. This is a very interesting development. Unlike the traditional vaccines we are used to, this spray does not target just one specific virus. Instead, it strengthens the body's innate immune system, the natural first line of defense, directly inside the lungs.
So rather than teaching the body to recognize a single enemy, it prepares the lungs to fight many different threats at once.
Exactly. The study, published in the journal Science, showed that this spray protected mice against COVID-19, several types of flu, and even bacterial pneumonia. It keeps immune cells in the lungs on high alert for several months after just one dose.
That is a long time for a single dose. I also understand it helps with more than just viruses.
That was a surprise to the researchers. The spray also blocked common allergens, such as dust mites, which can cause asthma. It works by calming the inflammation that leads to breathing problems.
This could be a significant shift for public health. If this works in humans, we might not need to update flu shots every year.
That is the goal. Dr. Bali Pulendran, the lead scientist, said the results were even better than they expected. A nasal spray is also much easier to distribute in remote areas, and it is a great option for people who do not like needles.
Human trials are expected to start soon to confirm the safety and the duration of this protection. This could truly change how we prepare for future pandemics.
It certainly could. It is a promising step toward a broader, more effective shield for our health.
Thank you for that report, Jamie. We will keep a close eye on this story as it develops.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are looking at a fascinating new discovery about our neighbor, the Red Planet. For a long time, many people believed Mars was a dead world with very little internal activity.
That is correct, Alex. However, a new study published in the journal Geology is changing that view. Researchers used high-resolution images from satellites to study volcanoes located south of a mountain called Pavonis Mons.
In the past, scientists thought these volcanoes were the result of a single, quick eruption, but this new data shows a much more complex history. Jamie, what did the orbital data actually reveal?
The researchers found that these volcanoes were built over a long time through many different stages. By looking at the fingerprints of the minerals, they saw that the chemical makeup of the lava changed. This suggests that the magma was sitting in deep underground reservoirs before it ever reached the surface.
That is a significant point. It means Mars had a persistent magma engine deep inside. This system was active and changing even during the planet's more recent history.
Exactly. This discovery suggests that the interior of Mars was far more active than our old models predicted. If the planet stayed hot and active for that long, there is a chance that some heat sources still exist underground today.
This is very exciting for future space exploration. Under President Trump's current administration, there is a strong focus on returning to the moon and eventually reaching Mars. Knowing where the planet might still have heat will help scientists choose where to send future robotic missions.
It certainly will. This study shows that Mars has a dynamic past that we are only beginning to fully understand.
Thank you for that analysis, Jamie. It is a reminder that there is always more to learn about the universe around us.
Thank you, Alex. Goodbye, everyone.